angle. You may. Edouard, thanks for joining. I just muted you. Welcome. So make sure that, first of all, thank you for taking the time, everybody. We couldn't do it in the office as we planned because of pandemic still reversed orders, and which most likely going to carry into next year, which makes it an opportunity and a challenge at the same time, right? So we have to make the best out of it. What we're going to talk today as a second touch to the main session we had about a month ago is more of how to present yourself as a business owner, right? It's both the psychology behind it, but also more of the actual presentation. Now, we're not going to show you a listing presentation. That's a listing presentation session, but we are going to share some kind of business fundamentals that you probably won't see, in most places. I cannot say anywhere else because it exists. But we're highly encouraging you to really think differently about yourself in terms of a business owner, right? Not a lot of businesses, at least in the perception and how they communicate or in their PR, will use a lot of the mission statement and what we stand for, etc. If you did work for corporate, you know that mission, vision, value, core values, etc. are fundamental part of their industry or their business, etc. And they will even test you for it, or you will have to stand behind it, and it's going to be all around you, right? Now, we're not corporate. You're not corporate. We are all entrepreneurs and independent business owners. At the same time, it doesn't hurt to use principles that build massive businesses, right? So we're going to share some of those concepts, and let's make it once again a conversation. If you have something to share or something that you maybe don't agree with or other experience, so any questions you have, so please once again make it let's make it like a more of a shared experience everybody will enjoy. Sounds like a plan? Yes. Okay.
Sounds awesome, Meny.
There we go.
Yeah, let's do this.
Let's do it.
I have to have as much energy as Jason Abrams. If you guys have ever seen him talk, he'll like dance and business planning.
We can do that too, right?
Yeah, we can. We are. We can and we are.
All right. So thumbs up if you see my screen. Cool. All right. So we're gonna kind of just drop or run through those points. And oh, what was that? There's like a red line on my screen. Oh, that was interesting. Well, we're gonna run, through some bullet points, and once again, we're gonna stop every now and then just to have a conversation and understand, what. Yes, Noel, this is recorded. We're gonna show the recording afterwards. Thanks for asking. And once again, just to expand your mind and the experience, and to maybe present a different angle of, besides being a salesperson, how to be more of a business owner, right? So this is a statement that it's pretty interesting concept, right? And maybe, you're already there, or maybe you never thought about it, right? And it says that first and foremost, your business plan, right, should convince you that your idea for a business is not just a dream, but you can actually achieve it. So think about it for a second. So that's kind of, in a way, like a mind-blowing statement. All of you guys are great sales people, right? But are you sold on yourself that you are the best realtor in town, that you are the best service provider to your buyers or to your investors or to your sellers, etc., right? So start with the bang. It's like boom, just right there. We didn't even build excitement to make this big statement, but that's just what it is, So, and you can tell as well, you can see by someone's energy and how they're presenting themselves, etc., if they really believe that they are the best fit for the job, or if they can carry that task, whatever that is. Stephanie, Halley, thoughts?
Yeah, you know, we talk about it a lot, that energy is everything, you know, because it's, people get attracted to energy, and the more enthusiastic, it doesn't mean that you have to be bouncing off the walls, but just, you know, show up as, you know, 100%, level 10, whatever that definition is for you, because people are attracted to that. People, that's your brand, right? Too, is your energy and your belief. And the more that you do it and the more that you show up 100%, the more people that will want to do business with you, because they feel that your passion for it, and that sometimes will, you know, that will supersede so many other things just based on your enthusiasm and your energy that you portray and you project.
And I completely agree with the both of you, what you said. And you brought up really good points that we need to know and recognize what our brand is. Because every good business, whether you're looking at, like, for example, McDonald's, right? You know exactly what they are about. You know exactly what they serve. You know what you're going to get when you go there. And it's about that branding. What makes you special as a realtor? What makes your business special? What makes your values special? All of that has to be realized. And Meny made a really good point where he says it's not just needs to be realized, but you need to believe in it. You need to be passionate about it, and you need to be behind what your values are in your business, or what your specialties are, whatever that is, because there's so many realtors out there that we really need to make sure that we identify what satisfies us, identify what our clients are looking for, and make sure that we're applying those with passion every single day.
Well said. Thanks for joining. A couple of edges just joined us as well. Another thing is, I'm going to share my screen again. The business plan should, there's a type over there, encourage others to invest in you or partner up with you as well, right? What it means that you first start as, you know, believing in yourself, right? Or believing in your own agenda, your own plan, your own goals, your own mission statement, values, etc. We are going to go over executive summary, which is, you know, kind of maybe a mix of mission statement, etc. later on. So some of you might have it or you don't have it. But once again, you have to sell yourself first on yourself. What are you able to do? What are you able to carry? What are you able to deliver? What kind of plan do you have? And here's the cool thing. Once you really do it, even like in a very basic way, you will find out that you will find out the fact that it will get you excited and get you even more engaged, because you're kind of stepping into, even if it's your own head, you're stepping into a bigger world, a bigger picture, a bigger commitment, right? That you have compared to what you have right now. So that's a big step. The second part, as I mentioned over here, is you want others to get excited as much as you and believe in you, right? And what does it mean to others to invest in you or partner up with you? It means that you're a great producer and your agents look up to you and say like, hey, I want this person to mentor me. I can learn from her. I can learn from him. It means that other producers looking at you and say, this guy is a hustler, right? Or she's on top of it. Maybe, you know, maybe I can give this person my bio leads or any other leads that, you know, I don't have time or I don't wish to follow up with for whatever reason. That could be an opportunity. How about other affiliates that you're seeking to partner up with, right? Maybe they can, you know, promote you in some shape and form. Maybe they can refer you business, not just like realtors. So if you don't believe in yourself, it's going to be very hard for others to believe in you. So that's the first step. Any thoughts about that? Questions? Anybody?
Many, I think I've been hearing this a lot lately, especially with some of our bigger listing agents that, they just don't have time for these buyer leads, right? And they're just piling up. They're not following up with them, or they're completely ignoring them. Some of them are turning off their buyer lead generation on any of their online marketing. And don't make the mistake to not leverage that into some financial benefit. Right. So make sure, just like Meny said, there are so many agents in here that are hungry and working very hard. Maybe they're new in their business, that they would love to work some of those buyer leads for you. And you wouldn't necessarily have to create a team dynamic to do that. You can just partner with them. You can share that with them. You can come up with a special referral fee, whatever that may be, but don't leave that income on the table. Find a way to leverage it, like Meny shared, with those that are hungry and that need that support.
100%. And, my own story, right? I was not even a year in production, and I manifested and I did, express, hey, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to share. This is what I'm looking for. And I had agents that they're great producers, still around, still producing a lot of business. And when, one of them, when she went on vacations, which was quite often out of state, out of the country, she referred me all over business. I wasn't even a year in production, right? And I closed a few buyers from it, 50%, not bad. So it can definitely happen if your intention and commitment are aligned. Meaning if you say it, and also if you mean it, and if you are doing it, right? And thanks for joining, whoever joined us the last couple of minutes. We have a nice group over here. Other thoughts? Anybody has questions? Comments?
I have a question.
Yes.
So, new agent, how can we approach these bigger agents and do the work for them and then take some of it? Do we tell them, like, we charge them a referral? Do we take some of it? How would you approach that situation?
It's a good question, Mona. Thanks for asking. So it really depends. Two things. Number one, when you're a new licensee in our offices, so you're enrolled in the mentor program, right? So you have a commitment to partner up with existing producers, so they can help you to close the deal, negotiate the deal. Negotiate, open transaction to close the deal, etc. They're not committed to give you business, or you're not there to give them your business, etc. But it's just to form of a partnership. So start there. Our goal is, and that's why when you meet with the team leaders, we rarely going to tell you up front, hey, you should join a team. Oh, by the way, this is KW. No, it's the opposite. Is we believe in you as an individual. You can make it in this industry, right? Like anybody else who succeeded and succeed. So you have to first of all, you have to give yourself a try, right? Before anything else. The second thing is you asking, okay, Meny, I get it. I believe in myself. Still, how can I ask for business? How can I stand out, right? Well, so there's few ways, right? As I mentioned, it's by intention and commitment. Is how do you show up, Mona? Today is going to be more virtually than in person. So are you showing up to classes, to sessions, to seminars? Are you asking questions like you're asking right now, right? When raise your hand if you see our morning emails, whatever office you're with, right? And you see, oh, today's trainings and today's new listings and what have you, right? Did anybody send today text to Amit Tabiani, congrats on the two new listings that he got this morning? Probably not, right? Or other offices. Sorry if I didn't mention your name and you had the new listing this morning. But it's, once again, it's taking that those actions to position yourself in the front line.
It's
And
all about Oh, sorry, Meny, I thought you're done.
go for it. Yeah.
It's all about relationships. What you just shared right now is relationship building. You know, a large agent can have these leads or be passing on them, but if you called them up and said, "Hey, I'm interested in taking their leads," they're probably not going to be a very receptive vessel for that request because you have no relationship built. Right? So you need to make sure, just like Meny said, get to know people. Now it's a bummer that we're in the middle of COVID and we don't have the mixers and we don't have the, office events anymore, but even virtually this can still happen. Just like Meny shared with a text, congrats on your new listing, or I saw it and I love the photos. This is great. I'd love to meet up more and talk to you about this later. You can really leverage these things, but it all starts from the relationship. Mona, if that kind of answers your question.
You basically have to build a relationship with them first. You can't just message them and say, "Hey, let me take your buyer leads."
Well, you could. I just don't know if it's going to work. And honestly, it's not a good use of your time, Mona.
Thank you for that, for sharing.
And I'm gonna add another thing, by the way. Never hold back, right? You're an entrepreneur. We don't have all the answers. And if we do have an answer, it doesn't mean that it's the right answer for you. You follow me? Because you're coming from a different angle, you're coming from a different attitude, from a different background. You have your own goals and desires and whatever you plan to do, right? We just happen to be sharing the same space. Virtual space, physical space, whatever. And we chose one another as well. This is not a coincidence. You're not here because you force yourself to be with us, and vice versa. We didn't force you to be part of our group, all of you, right? My point is that you still need to own your own decision, your own destiny, your own take ownership on what you want to do. So, Mona, if you want to try to reach out and do whatever, that's fine too. Give it a shot, right? And then see what the response might be. I don't know. It's, once again, it's intention versus commitment. So the second part is, you want to build strategy with your business partner, aka mentor, coach. Those guys been doing this as full-time professionals. Take advantage of it. Back to how I started. I partner up with a great mentor, and after I graduated, my mentoring, my 3 deals, I kept working with my mentor, then became business partner, and we did pretty good, right? So it's all about, once again, like where you want to take this. And while I was doing that, I took, referrals and people sent me business, etc. But you have to show up. It won't come to you. You have to be the one to initiate and to be consistent, and initiate and to be consistent over and over and over and over again, if it makes sense. So I saw a question over here. Priya, can we promote other agent listing on our social media channels? Since yes, you can. First of all, ask for permission. They're gonna give it to you, and then promote it, right? There's a few ways to go about it, right? Either you're, and also depends on the, what kind of relationship you have with the listing agent, right? So you can, either they give you permission and you just put the picture and you say, 3-bedroom in Long Beach, amazing views, call me for more information, Priya 562, always put your DRE number as well, if you may be very specific, price and other pieces of information, etc., address or whatever, you should also mention courtesy of or listed by the amazing Joe Smith, right?
Perfect. Okay.
Doesn't hurt.
No.
And people are visual. So, most cases people won't even read the whole thing that you wrote down. So you can, even write the whole description, put the courtesy of, so it won't catch the attention, but you're gonna catch the attention of the visual more so. But yeah, ask for permission. It goes back to Mona. Like, how can I ask for business? Well, ask to promote your business.
Perfect. And I wanted to ask, so if there's a buyer who responds to my post about, say, your listing, can I represent the buyer if nobody's representing him, or do you represent the buyer as well? Because it was your listing, actually.
Can you please ask the question again? I don't think I understood.
Say I promote your listing on my social media. A buyer who doesn't have prior representation contacts me about your listing, and I ask him, do you have anybody representing you? And he says no. Am I allowed to seek him as a buyer, and like, can I represent him as an agent, or do I need to turn him over to you and then you represent both sides?
Great question. So it depends.
Okay.
If you reach out to me and say, hey, Meny, can I promote your listing? And I said, sure, but any buyer that you get from my open houses, let's say that we're doing open houses, right?
Okay. Sure.
Or if I have showing and I cannot make it and I'm going to send you to do the showing, or if you get any leads from social media, I want to do 50-50. And if you say yes,
Okay.
right? And by the way, verbal agreement can be as valid between agents, between licensees, as valid as written agreement.
Perfect.
So if you agreed upon that, then you owe me that part of the commission or the partnership. But
Sure.
if that was not agreed upon, then no, this is all yours, right? Then you have to reach out. In that sense, what you need to do, because you're a new agent, is call your business partner, aka mentor coach, and say, hey, we got a hot lead. The person can jump on a call with me to pre-qualify them, have him sign a buyer exclusive representation, and then write an offer on the property X. Halley, Stephanie, any thoughts?
Perfect.
Halley, Stephanie, anything else to add?
No, I was trying to give Stephanie a chance. I feel like I've been talking.
No, I didn't have anything else to add on that.
No, I think you hit the nail right on the head, Meny. I mean, marketing other people's listings has been done since the day of time. People still send out, if you don't, a good business plan is still send out the just listed, just solds. And it doesn't have to be your just listed or just solds. When you're sending out postcards or mailers, you can do that as well. You just have to follow your DRE and marketing guidelines. But other people's inventory, especially when you build that relationship and honor that with them, it can be a wonderful opportunity for you to generate leads.
Yeah, and just be in, like Meny said, and just be in communication with the other agent. Obviously, you get the approval, blah, blah, blah. And then, you just never know where these relationships, what they can turn into, right? I mean, I know, like with Eileen and Louisa, they have like little partnerships with different people, right? Hey, I'm going to send, my Spanish speaking clients to this person that I'm working on, and we'll split that. You just really just be open and embrace the opportunities that are there for you, and just be as creative as possible. Because that's what this 2020 has created for all of us, is to be versatile, to be flexible, to do things differently. And it's okay to think outside the box, right? And because it's not a cookie cutter. Yeah, there's certain basics, right? But it's not cookie cutter. If you're like, oh my God, this is really part of my personality, and I think I could really, really knock it out of the park with this certain behavior or these certain, this niche or whatever, just go for it. right? Just go for it as long as you're in compliance with, with all the rules and, and guidelines.
That's right.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for
Should we
sharing.
conform, like, because
I'm
it's
gonna just keep on going for a second. I just want to cover a few more steps. But keep your questions, and we're gonna go back to those good questions. And then if those tend to be maybe basic 101 contracts or whatever, we're gonna touch base with you afterwards, because I just want to keep our head straight on the business plan and goals. So the next part is I want to show you a sample as well. Is what we call executive summary. And you're going to hear that more of a mission statement and mission, vision, values, etc. I'm going to give you a kind of different angle, and be more than happy to share this whole presentation link with you guys, so you can copy it and edit it and whatever you want to do, right? Make it your own. But think about this, right? Can you see my screen? Okay. This is like a sample business plan, right? Or executive summary. And put your LLC name or your name instead of. So Jane Smith Real Estate LLC, or acronym of JSRE, is a real estate company in Los Angeles area. It is the mission of JSRE to provide real estate services in the San Fernando Valley and Greater LA communities. JSRE is a full service real estate, escrow, title, and mortgage company, right? You can do that, by the way, because we have affiliation, and you can promote yourself as a such business provider. It doesn't mean that you do escrow or do lending, etc., because you're only holding, or at least most of you, only real estate license. But that's part of the, once again, mission statement. The company, right? JSRE will be limited liability company, LLC. It's a whole different discussion. You don't have to do it if you're not incorporated, but it's a whole different discussion about why you should be incorporated, especially in California or in the United States. Registered in the state of California, tax purposes, The founder is you. The company is self-funded and offering its services in the San Fernando Valley and Greater LA areas. The company's main clients are home sellers and first-time home buyers. Since Ms. Smith knows and understands her market needs, she believes that she can appeal to such clients far more than most other competitors. The services, JSRE offers comprehensive real estate escrow, mortgage, title services to our diverse clients, with Keller Williams Luxury International as our mainframe for resources, marketing, technology, and support. JSRE will have a premier position as the dominant real estate service provider to our clients, and so on and so forth. You can hear the music in the background, right? The commercial, the horses, whatever you have to imagine. So think about you as someone who has such executive summary, such a plan, right? Because, and you know what? I mean, maybe any of you has such a mission statement? Anybody here in this call? So, and that's fine. I'll be very surprised if you do, just because it's not typical, it's not common in our industry, in real estate, to have such, mission statement. I'm going to share right now. Let me see. Let me know if you can click on the link that I just showed on the chat. If it opens up as a read-only view, and then once again you can copy this. You can play with this afterwards. This is the class presentation. But once again, I encourage you to build your own mission statement, right? Build your own executive summary. So you will get excited about what kind of business you carry. Because think about it. If closing 10 deals a year, and your gross volume, right, the sales volume is, let's say, 8 million, and your gross commission income, right, was, do the math, right, 8 mil by 2.5% commission, whatever that will be equivalent to, right, to 200 and whatever $1,000. That's how much your business produce. That's that's significant, amount of business, right? That's significant sales volume. It's huge. It's massive. So think as you are a CEO of a big company. That's the only way to really get to the next step, or whatever that might be for you, right? So once you have that, the next step is to, as we traditionally, talk and present, is break down the 411 SMART goals, right? Halley, Stephanie, you always, preach to use the SMART goals and measurable goals, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, and then we say the smarter goals, right? That that there really should be an ER at the end of it. Making sure setting a goal without having the concept of each piece that needs to go into the play to achieve that goal, it's going to be really difficult to be able to reach what you're trying to do. So, SMART, it stands for specific. Your goal needs to be very very specific, whatever that means to you. So for example, I want to sell houses next year, or I want to make more money next year. That's not enough, right? It's got to be very specific. How many homes do I want to sell? In what amount of time, next year? You have the M, it needs to be measurable. You need to have a goal that you can actually take those analytics and look at how you're achieving them and how easy it is for you to make it repetitive, to make it copyable so that you can repeat it over and over again, right? Stephanie, do you want to do the rest of them? SMAR, what's the A? Attainable? No, attainable?
Yep.
Yeah. I was like, what's the A? Why am I forgetting the A?
Yeah, so you want to make sure that it's, action oriented, right? The specific, measurable, action oriented. What are the actions that you're going to take, right? It has to be all encompassing. Remember, we've really been talking about all this week on morning mindset of being specific and being clear. Really dig deep, guys, in like what Halley said. The more specific you are, the more that drives you to do the actions necessary, right? So you have your specific, measurable, action-oriented, and then R, right? Realistic, right? Be realistic. We also, we don't want to deter you from your big goals, right? However, we want it to be realistic for you as well, right? So you can have your goals, and then you can have some stretch goals as well. And then time, the T is for time, the time frame, okay, by XYZ date, right? And if it changes, remember, a lot of your goals and everything, it's all fluid. It flows. It doesn't mean that it's set in stone, that it can't change. Like we've also spoken about as we're reflecting on 2020, due to a lot of stuff that's happened, in our lives and everything, certain things may not be as important to us as they once were. So really, it's a book that you're writing, right? You're living this life by design. And some things can change. It's just like any movie you watch. You think it's going one way, and then bam, it goes over to a whole nother different story. And that's how our life is. So you just really, be realistic and understand that it's a book that you're writing, and it can change all the time. So be okay with that and embrace it. And then the E is evaluate, right? Evaluate, and then you review it. So just really, it's just all about figuring out what you want and be okay with figuring it out along the way, right? But the more specific you get, like we talked about Louisa, she is following her schedule more than she ever has in her entire lifetime, right? But it's because she got super specific and dug deep on why things are important to her. So now that she's really dug deep and did some of the work, because a lot of times we have to do the work internally, right? And sometimes that's a scary place to go. of really digging in and learning more about you. But the more that you do that, the more specific you get, the easier it is to do the difficult tasks and to put these goals together, these smarter goals. So that's my 2 cents.
Good stuff, guys. Checking if we have any questions. Cool. Smart goals for 1-1. By now you should already have everything set for next year, at least written plan or draft of, right? Products and services, sellers, buyers, seller concierge, market analysis, mortgage, escrow, title, etc. You need to know what you can provide, and you have to have a plan as well, in a sense of, once again, what is it that you provide? A lot of agents, or we can tag them as more of the salesperson approach, is, well, I'm selling real estate, right? So it's not really what it is. You're more of a service provider. You don't, we are brokering the deal. What we do really sell is our service, is our value proposition, right? Is an agreement, is a fiduciary, and it's the mission statement is trust. That's what you sell. That's what you build as well. And what's interesting is that you're not really being paid for what you sell only until you actually closing the deal successfully, right? And once again, there's a lot of layers to it. Like also to negotiate the commission and what you're really worth, and how much did you lose anything in the process of? Did you have to give any money back to keep the deal together, or whatever that is? There's so many different ways and things that will come up. But think about it for a second, right? So as a business owner, you need to know you can't just wing it, right? And if you do wing it and it works for you, it's not going to be sustainable. You have to be more responsible, right? You have to be more responsible. Another big one is understand the market, right? Trends, what kind of clientele you want to work with, type of farming, etc. So anybody can think of resources you can use to understand the trends, or what kind of, maybe farm you work and how you can get those kind of resources, or other pointers? Anybody? Not everybody together, just one person at a time.
I think you want someone to say it other than Halley and myself, right?
I know. I'm like, well,
let me pick on Nina. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Nina,
Sorry about that. Many, my phone is messing up, so I'm actually, can you guys hear me?
Can you hear for now? As long as we have you, that's great. So how do you learn, when you work with people, or with a specific area, or you get a listing, etc., how do you learn about the area? Where do you get your resources from?
Obviously the internet. I'll talk to my fellow agents. So right now I'm actually working with a couple of investors, one from my listing that's looking for multi-units. I'm actually working with Debbie Musii in our office to locate the exact multi-units and shopping center that he's looking for. And I'm actually learning a ton from her, because commercial is a completely different market than I'm used to. So I welcome all the knowledge that I'm gaining from her. And it's an area that now I'm like, okay, this is more than likely going to be something that I'll be doing. So, a lot of agents may be a little intimidated and scared to step out of their comfort zone if it's, commercial, and now you're transitioning to residential and vice versa. But for me, I actually welcome it, because, I feel like you should constantly be growing and learning each and every day. And so if it's an area or a market that you're not completely comfortable or sure, then this is when we reach out to our fellow agents. This is when we, reach out to Meny and Halley and Stephanie and say, hey, I've got this great opportunity completely out of my comfort zone. Who do you suggest I talk to? And then just be open to learning. I mean, let's not stunt ourselves at just one area of real estate. There's so many facets of real estate that we can grow and learn from. And I think that if you're open to that, the sky's the limit. So I'm excited. I'm actually really, really excited for this journey with this particular client who I would not have been in touch with him had he not driven by my sign. So that's how I feel about it. I think you just should constantly be learning and growing.
And thanks, Nina, for sharing. And great segue to the next topic, which is marketing and PR, right? You said like this guy saw my sign. I'm assuming it was your for sale sign, right? In your existing listing.
Correct.
Yeah, thank you, Nina. So, think about also, which is a big one, part of being, successful salesperson, right? When you want to sell something is how you present it, how you market it, how you promote it, right? And in any shape and form, if social media, digital newsletters, e-blasts, texts, different messengers, farming, postcards, flyers, all of the above, right? Signs, if you have a listing, right? So at the same time, don't overcomplicate it. Don't overcomplicate it, because it can be very, very overwhelming. Agents always come and say, hey, should I buy those leads? Should I invest in this? Should I invest in that? Should I do this? Should I do that? I mean, look, if you have a, which is the last portion over here in this checklist, is the financial analysis. If you have a solid plan and you understand your profit and loss, your statements, your plan, your budgeting, and you have enough money to invest in yourself, as in your business, which by the way, you always want to lead by revenue, right? I mean, debt sometimes is necessary, but you don't have to be in debt. So if you do that properly, then okay, I can invest this $100 a month in this piece of source of leads, or in this promotion, or whatever, or I can save the money and do it myself, or maybe I can find a more efficient cost. At the same time, once again, don't overcomplicate it. Just do something. Something is better than nothing. It doesn't have to be too much, right? So especially if you're in the business, do you really need a business card today? Really? Who are you going to give it to? There's no open houses. There's no door knocking. You're not really socializing, right? So now, like, oh my God, right, I don't need a business card, right? You can have a business card, but, digital, just the picture of it, so you can text people and share it. I use this. Thanks, Halley. Let me just stop share. I use this. See this little sticker? It's actual sticker. I just took off there's like a plastic bubble thingy. I put it, under my clear phone holder, and I can't really show how cool it is right now. But if you're gonna meet in person and you're gonna scan your phone on top of my little sticker over here, it's gonna open up a browser, and you're gonna see all of my information, my social media links and whatever. Halley, maybe you can share, add a link to this app, to this device. And, or once again, just go simplicity. Someone is asking you, I met this agent a couple of weeks ago who was considering to join to one of our offices. And when we met, okay, so what is information? What's the number? I shared my V card, right? My contact information right away. Like I didn't have to give him any piece of paper. Excuse me. So I was in his cell phone, he was in my cell phone right away. Don't overcomplicate things. Make him this very simple, make him efficient. And one thing that we've learned, thanks to being forced, maybe I shouldn't say thanks to, right? But it's in a positive way, because we've been forced to isolate ourselves or distance ourselves from the public, etc., is to be more efficient. To be more efficient and be more, whatever you share doesn't work, by the way. To be more efficient, to be time on task, to be more, Halley, share the, go to URL shortener, please, and just put this small tiny link. You learn about different resources, the different ways of communication, right? You don't have to drive 45 minutes in traffic or more to meet a client you can Zoom, right? We gained so much time, right? That is just unbelievable. Thanks for the link. It's working right now. So let's take advantage of it. You have to be, once again, entrepreneur in your thinking as well of how to adopt change and have to be part of change, right? That's why the grass is not greener anywhere else. The grass is here, the greenest that can ever be, where you're gonna nourish it properly. That's it. Take responsibility. Any thoughts about that? Okay. So let me share my screen again. Share screen, where did you go? Just had it. It was right here. Okay.
Meny.
Yes.
This is Edward. Yeah. What you said about the grass is here, and the grass is the most green right here because we nourish it. That's everything. That's real estate, but that's life. That's how we make our lives great. So it's really great. That's really cool. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Edouard. Yeah, it's just as simple as that, really. It goes back to just taking responsibility. You have to take responsibility. and the circle of it is pretty funny because when you work for someone else, you, in a sense, right, you give up some of that responsibility because someone else is responsible for something, for your position, for some of the duties, for the reporting, for the outcome. And then when you are right now, as all of us, as a business owners, independent business owners, you have to take this back to your hands, this responsibility, this power. And it can be very draining. So, well, it probably is going to be draining all the time because you have to be around it all the time. But once you have the right attitude about it and you're excited about it, then it's going to work to your benefit, right? Also on the checklist that we added over here is operations and support team. Who's your A+ team members, right? Those who will help you to get business, those that will help you to transaction to close, open the deal and close the deal. In the entire process, those are going to help you to promote the business afterwards, and maybe to refer your business, etc. Who's your A team? I know who's my A team is. I mean, you see them around you. Those are my staff members. Those are our leaders. Those are our affiliates, our ESCO companies, our lenders, title reps, home warranty reps, NHD rep, right? Those are our A players. We chose them. Nobody forced them on us, right? There's a reason that they're there. So who's on your side? You have to be strategic about it too. You have to understand how that works. You have to build those relationships. And sometimes, yeah, I mean, it takes a minute because especially if you're new in the business, you have to, don't really have any right away listings or buyers or whatever. It's fine. You can still build relationships. You can still reach out and ask questions, because that's gonna open up that path to, once again, the people will think about you, People will respect you, will appreciate you. And once you're going to have that deal, they're going to be excited for you, right? And they're going to be there to support you because you supported them for so long. Not maybe by giving them business, but by reaching out to them, count them as a trusted resource, ask them question, refer them business. I refer business to my sphere all the time. I send agents to our title reps, the NHD, our incredible escrow company. Finally, we have the best escrow team ever, right? Excited to send business to them. Home warranty. I insure my properties with Old Republic, all of them. So once again, you have to utilize it to the fullest, right? Be the ambassador of your own brand, your own sphere, your own everything, because it's gonna amplify, it's gonna keep growing, and just it's gonna be beautiful, right? And then in the process, if something happened, you have to change, adjust or whatever, you will. Any thoughts about that? Anybody?
Well, I think your team, having your A team just even more so builds that brand, like you were sharing, Meny, that customer service, that what it means to be in your business. They serve all those purposes. So it's so important to make sure that you're all in the same alignment with what you're trying to provide your client. And also, when you have a good A team, they're there to support you and help your production, especially when it comes to the affiliates. They have so many tools and techniques that can help you build your business and your brand, just outside of your normal activities. So making sure you have that A team that you can call up and say, look, I'm a little slow. I want to do some lead generation. Do you have any thoughts? Do you have anything that can help me? It's a wonderful, wonderful resource to have.
Well said, Halley. On point. And it's never too soon, never too late to build your team. And if you're thinking about it, we already built a team for you. You just have to plug in and make the intro and just build them around you properly. Last but not least is financials that are crucial to understand the health of your business, right? Numbers tell the story, and the actual results will indicate, are you succeeding or are you failing, right? And even if you're failing, it's okay. Businesses, most businesses, small businesses fail, right? Or fail their way to success. It takes a minute. So let's say, I'll give an example. Let's say that you didn't sell anything this year, right? So question, is your business profitable, breaking even, or losing money? Anybody? If you didn't sell anything this year, is your business profitable, breaking even, or losing money?
Losing money.
Losing money, okay. Anybody else? Someone wrote losing money. Yeah, you're losing money. Why? Because you put money in the board, MLS, Supra Key, business cards, maybe other resources, time, right? You can calculate time, how much you're worth per hour, basically. So you're losing money, right? And then you do the math, like, you know what? If I would do X amount of sales, right? Or by average, right, of the sales price and the commission and etc., or by income, then you say, okay, that's how much I would need to do in order to make that amount of profit, for example, right? So you have to know your numbers. You also have to calculate or take into consideration taxes. So in average, I'm not giving you tax advice. I'm not a tax advisor. I'm not a CPA, etc. But in average, you're going to be at 25 to 30% bracket, right? When you pay taxes. If you incorporated, you're most likely going to be on the 20% bracket. You already saved money over there. So, and once again, go to your CPA. If you don't have a CPA, hire a CPA. Do yourself a favor. If you have an accountant and you're making under $50,000 a year, I guess it's okay. If you're doing your own taxes, fire yourselves tomorrow and hire a professional to protect yourself. And we are going to have another class after the first of the year, most likely, with our CPA. It was going to have a class, I think it's next week, about Prop 19, but with our CPA about how to structure yourself properly. Super important, right? But do the math. How much? What does it take to make money? P&L report, profit and loss. You have to know what it is. Are you cash flowing or are you losing money, cash bleeding, right? So understanding the numbers is critical. Also, if you don't manifest or envision, have a plan, measurable plan of how much money you want to make, it's going to be very hard to get there, right? And you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised once you have, plan in place and you're working towards it. In some cases, and if you're very purposeful about it, in some cases, you're going to over exceed what you even planned to begin with. Nothing wrong with that. That's kind of cool. That's kind of exciting, all right? So you have to know your numbers. You have to know your numbers. And are we planning to do, Halley, Stephanie, at one point, like a vision board? It can be, I guess, maybe next one's going to be a virtual vision board. We never did that one, actually. It could be cool. Maybe for, sometime in January, should do one of those, right? Vision board helps.
Yeah, for sure. Always having your goals in front of you is absolutely essential to helping you exceed your goals. Just having them in front of you. So yeah, we'll figure out how we can do the vision board, together virtually, what have you, put PowerPoint together, something. But I do want to piggyback though, Meny, on what you're talking about, your financial. So it is imperative you guys know the numbers on a multitude of different levels, right? But the one I want to talk to you about, just touch upon a little bit, is the financial why. Okay, your financial why, and that helps build into what to bridge that gap in between your goals and what your current business is, or what you think, right? So, and that financial is, really digging deep into knowing your numbers. What is your, for lack of a better word, what's your monthly net, right? What does it take for you to live personally, right? Your household expenses, your car payment, your this, that, and the other thing, right? What does that cost? What is the cost for your business expenses, right? And then, like if you're planning on, let's say you're planning on taking 10 listings. Okay, so then what does it cost for you to have a listing? Because there's a cost associated with being a listing agent. We pay for photography and maybe Matterport and, putting our signs and all, just different things. So what is your budget? So if you're thinking, okay, I spend 500 or I spend 1,000 on every single listing, so you have to add that into your budget for the year. That's going to be $10,000, just for example, right, of what you'll spend on marketing and doing everything you need to do for those 10 listings. Okay, and then also, okay, what is my debt reduction goal if you happen to have debt, right? What is my savings goal, pre-tax, post-tax, etc.? My retirement, if I'm putting some vacations in, put it all in there. So then you can see what your gap is too. It's like, okay, I'm currently, what other income do I have coming in? If you're married, you have a spouse that brings in X amount, and then, to get your goals, then there's an additional 100,000 I need to make. So that means an extra 5 deals, 10 deals, whatever your price point happens to be. So I just challenge each and every one of you to dig deep and get specific, obviously, on your goals, and then also get specific on your, get specific on your why, your personal why, and then get specific on your financial why, because that just gives you even more clarity.
Awesome. Thank you, Stephanie. Are there any questions about that, by the way? Anybody? About financials, or maybe you want to share something that you use? Yes, no, maybe? Okay. And once again, we schedule a session with our CPA about something else, but we definitely will do, we did a few of those great sessions. We'll do another one to educate you. And of course, to open to questions, if you already have it, how to structure yourself properly as a business owner in California, right? What's the right way to do it? So let's just once again sum it up. Oh, and another thing actually I want to share with you. I just sent you the link. It's a really, really cool 3D app. It took me maybe like 3 minutes to do what I just sent you right now. It's Canvas.io. Just go to your Apple Store or whatever device you have and get. It's a free app. You can upgrade, but just use the basic one. And you go to a listing, or you have a listing, or you go to a tour or whatever. You can do this little kind of spidery thing. Takes once again minutes, and you can share this with your people. It's so cool. Look at what I did with my phone right this morning. It took me once again 3 minutes. It's brilliant. Such a cool thing. Use it. Be one step ahead. It's kind of cool. I don't know if you can share it on Facebook or Instagram or whatever. I didn't try it, but most likely. It's like another, kind of nice marketing hack. Noel, can the CPA cover how to do profit and loss statements? I'm not sure, because that's more of an accountant, bookkeeper. To be honest with you, CPA is more for the strategy, how to be structured properly. However, we can definitely maybe have one of our accountants or MCAs in the office do a class. Stephanie, if you don't mind just making a note, we can add it to the, maybe do a few power sessions, maybe before the year ends with the accountant, MCA, and then only next year we'll do in January sometimes a session with the CPA about strategies, because this year is already too late anyway. You cannot, right now open a LLC and file taxes under it, right? You have to wait for next year, for this year at least, right? But thanks, Noel. We're definitely gonna get it covered for you.
I had a question about creating LLCs or S corps as a new agent. Like, am I supposed to do a couple years down the line when I really have some cash flow coming in, or do I do it now and just learn it from the get-go?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, we're not here to give any kind of an advice, and we're gonna do a session that the CPA is gonna explain to you the differences. I did mention a few minutes ago, I said, if you're making X amount of income, maybe you should consider as a business owner to incorporate yourself, right? It's for your benefit, your protection, for tax purposes, etc. You can, but and also go online, inkfile.com or legalzoom.com, and just understand that you can just read about it. What's the difference between incorporated, non-incorporated, LLC, and S corp, right? What the differences are. But we're not here to talk about it, really, to give that kind of advice. We are definitely going to bring our CPA to talk about it. So keep those thoughts, and once again, just you can do your own research. It's extremely non-complicated.
Got it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you got it. Other question, guys, before we're going to let you go? Back to your lead generation time and virtual door knocking and social media engagement. Anybody? Okay. All right. Well, Halley, Stephanie, thank you for sharing, and everybody else on this call, thanks for being here, and thanks for sharing your ideas and questions, and make it work, and make sure to have a plan for next year. Is going to be as strong, as good, as purposeful as this year, or even more. So make sure to better yourself in your developer position and your business resources and everything that you have to make it a better year. So thanks everybody.
Thank you.
A great day.
Bye, everybody.
Bye bye. Thank you everybody.